All right, today is Tuesday, the 20th. What class is it? Okay. See if it's open. All right, I'm gonna do the warm up. We're gonna work with our partner work. We're doing the EOC review number 2. Second little packet, keep up with it, open. Here, open this up, please. All right, and then I'm gonna go over questions. Okay, so let's do, that Tuesday problems. Please stop talking to me. You're in the wrong place. You don't sit there. Please move back to your seat. Thank you. Make sure you bring it back in. All right, and you need to make sure that you study. Your homework, let's go ahead and label that. Homework is the next sheet, Tuesday. Back and front. And then the last 2 pages is Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, actually, you could have just divided it. That's okay. That's all right. We'll do 2 today. All right, I'm going to pause to give you a chance to write. Let's take out our planner. I check planners next Friday. Remember, everything's due next Friday. Planners is the project grade, easy project grade. Please check off if you did the homework last night. Check that off. If you watched the homework help video, check that off. If you studied the note cards or you did some form of studying in math, please check that. Math 1 today is the 24th. Math 1 homework. Of course, your homework problems in your packet. Homework help video. And study note cards and interactive notebooks. Pause for the calls. Don't forget that Thursday is your science EOG. We on a modified schedule. And Friday is social studies. It's a regular schedule because you'll just take your EOG inside your social studies class. It's not long enough to shut anything down. It's very simplistic. Any questions? All right, let's work on our warm-up. You're writing an equation of the line that passes through the 2 points. All right, so let's look at the warm-up. It says write an equation of the line. Anytime you have 2 points, no matter where the 2 points are on the coordinate plane, it forms a straight line. So it's always going to be linear, okay? So when you're writing a linear equation, the very first step is to find M. The second step is to find B. And then the third step is to substitute M and B into your slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Those are your 3 steps. So let's find the slope first. Label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2. How do you find the slope? What's the formula for finding slope? Yes.
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Very good, babe. So what numbers are we gonna put on the top? Donnie, what minus what?
4 minus 16.
Mm-mm.
No, 16 minus 4.
16 minus 4. Very good. What numbers are we gonna put on the bottom? Yes.
9 minus 3.
9 minus.
Did I put 3? 4.
Mm-mm.
6.
Mm-hmm. On the top, what does that give you? Yes.
12.
12 over
3.
3. What's 12 divided by 3?
4.
So your slope is 4. M is equal to 4. So now let's find B. How do we find B? What do we use? Yes.
You use one of the coordinates to plug in for y and x, and then you plug your m into the
So you're going to use your slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Which point do you want to use, the first or the second?
second.
You want to use this point or this point? First, it doesn't matter. I just need for you to pick one. I don't care. I just need you to pick one. All right. So what do we? If we use this point, what are we gonna plug in for y? 4. What do we plug in for m?
4.
Times. What do we plug in for x?
6.
Bring down the plus b. Now what do we do to solve for b? What's 4 times 6?
24.
All right. What's after that?
Subtract 24.
Subtract 24 on both sides. And what does that give you? 20 is equal to what? Negative 20. All right. So how do we write this as an equation?
Y equals 4x minus 20.
Raise your hand if you got that right. Okay, good deal. All right. So now let's multiply. Let's multiply all 3 together. We can only multiply 2 at a time. Let's multiply the first 2. How do we multiply these 2 together? What do we get?
5x minus 40.
Okay. Now we're going to multiply the last. What do we do to multiply these 2 binomials? We could use distributive property or 4. All right, what's first? 5x times x, what does that give you?
5x squared.
Outer, what's outer?
5x.
5x times 12. What's 5x times 12? 60x. Inner, what's inner?
Negative 40 times 8.
Which is?
Negative 40x.
Very good. And then what's last?
Negative 40 times 12.
Negative 40 times
12.
12. And what is that?
Negative 40.
Put a 0 here, right? Negative. And we got 4 and 2 is what?
8.
8. And then 4 and 1 is what?
480.
Negative 480. All right, so now what do we do? What's going to be our final answer? Combine like terms. What terms can we combine?
Positive 60x and negative 40x.
So our final answer is what?
5x squared plus 20x minus 40.
Plus, what? I didn't hear the last. 20x
Minus 180.
Got it? Any questions? No card? Linear equations? Sorry, y'all. Excuse me. Anybody still copying the warm up? I'll just move that kind of quickly. Anybody need me to go back? I'll pause real quickly. I'm sorry. All right. Linear equations. Linear equations are equations that graph straight lines They are arithmetic sequences add or subtract to get to the next number. And they have constant rates of change. Pause for the call. Okay, so on the back of the note card, I want to see if you remember these formulas. I want you to write both slope formulas. There's two formulas for slope. Standard form for linear functions. Slope intercept form. Arithmetic sequence. And see if you remember how to write a recursive formula. Okay. I'm pause for the calls and see if you can fill this in. See? All right, so let's look at it. What's one of the slope formulas? Rise over run. Okay. And what's the other one? Y2 minus Y1. X2 minus X1. Good. What's the standard form for linear functions?
X plus B Y equals C.
AX plus BY equals C. Where this number cannot be a what? It cannot be negative or what? A fraction. Which means it can't be a decimal either, okay? All right, what's the slope intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. What's m?
The slope.
Slope. What's b? The starting amount or y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis. Sometimes people say initial value. Arithmetic sequence. A sub n is equal to what? Stop making airplanes. One day I hope you'll be able to fly one of them. Okay? Poor Ella.
A sub 1 in parentheses.
A sub 1
Parentheses n minus 1.
plus n minus 1
And then multiply by d.
times d. Very good. All right, so this is the number that you're looking for. Term looking for. So if you're looking for the fifth, then you're going to put a sub 5. And what's a sub 1?
First term.
First term in the list. Very good. And what's the n again? The term you're looking for. And what's the d?
The common difference.
The common difference. Or the slope, right? Questions? All right, recursive. We can use next now. We could say starting at, and that's going to be whatever the starting amount is. And it's going to be next equals your now, and it could be plus or minus whatever the slope is. So this is where you put your y-intercept, your starting number, and this is where you put your slope. And you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Recursive means that you can't just substitute a number in to get an answer. That means you gotta keep doing the same thing over and over again till you get to the term that you're looking for. Any questions? Anybody lost? That's linear. Let's do exponential. Oops. Wrong color. An exponential function or equation. Exponential function or equation graphs curved lines. It could either go curve up or it could curve down. It's two types. This is exponential. Which one is this one?
Growth.
This is exponential growth. And what's the other one?
Decay.
This one is exponential decay. Okay. It grows by a percentage or a common ratio. Write this down, baby. Grows by a percent or common ratio. Grows by a percent or a common ratio. Okay, if your K is what? Then 1. Then that makes it exponential growth. Greater than or less than? If K is greater, if K is, we'll do that on the other side, sorry. Turn over. Anybody still copying? They can scale faster, but that's okay. All right, let's put growth on this side. And let's put decay. Let's put growth formula. What's the growth formula? Decay formula. Oh, you know what? For generic, what's the standard form? Should have put that first. What's the standard form for exponential functions? Y is equal to, anybody remember?
AX plus CX.
A is right. I heard somebody say A.
A.
I'm mumbling. I really don't know what y'all are saying. I'm just guessing what you're saying. I know I heard A for sure, but that's all I know I heard. Yes. Very good. All right, what is A? Don't say that's what I said when I asked you and you went saying it.
I did say it though.
No, you can talk louder than that. I don't know what you're saying. What the world? I know y'all always do that. You're like, that's what I said. No, you didn't. I couldn't hear you. What does the A stand for?
Y-intercept?
Hmm?
Y-intercept?
Y-intercept. What's the B? Common ratio. Common ratio. Okay, got it? You got it? Did you write it? All right, let's do this. Here, your B has to be what? Then 1. Your B has to be what to 1? Okay. What about this one? Greater than. What about this one?
Less than.
Less than. Okay. Now we're going to write the growth formula. What's the growth formula? Y
equals a
In parentheses,
1 plus
Y
R
equals, I didn't hear the first part.
C.
C, parentheses,
1 plus R.
the X power.
you said, oh, what is that? Oh. What you said, 1 plus R to the what power?
X power.
X power or T, okay? And what about the decay formula?
Y equals C, parentheses, 1 minus
To the what?
X power.
All right, very good. How do you find the growth rate? What's the formula? And then how do you find decay rate? What's the formula? Growth rate, how do you find that? Pause. Y'all think I'm gonna tell you.
C.
Well, you can't post this to anybody else because nobody else said anything.
Like R equals 1 plus B or something.
No, but at least you're using the right letters.
Sounds like R equals 1 plus something.
Not R.
B equals
B equals
1 plus
1
plus R.
R. What about decay rate?
B equals 4 minus 1.
Alright. What's the formula for compound interest? Y or A is equal to C or P, parentheses, 1 plus
R over M
R over N
to the NT power.
to the NT power. Very good. I forgot what's the other thing that we needed for this one. Compound interest. That might be it. I might have to come back if I remember. I think it's one more thing, but I can't remember. All right, quadratic. It's something else, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, recursive. Recursive formula, next now anyway, is starting at, and it's whatever your starting amount is, and it's going to be next equals whatever the now is, and times, this was multiplication, times whatever your common ratio is. All right? Oh, geometric sequence. Remember I'm gonna put that on the front there. This is also a geometric sequence, where you multiply to get to the next number. It is a geometric sequence, I forgot about that. What's the formula for geometric sequence? We know it's a sub n is equal to what?
A sub 1.
A sub 1
times n plus
times,
n plus 1.
no. N sub 1, n minus 1 is a part of it, but you multiply by what?
Combination.
The common ratio raised to the n minus 1. This is your common ratio. The n is the number that you're looking for. Term looking for. Let me pause. Give you a chance to write that. Functions. Quadratic functions graph U-shaped lines. Graph U-shaped line. A U-shaped line is called a what? Parabola. You have two types of quadratic functions. U-shaped lines that go upward and U-shaped lines that go down. This one is an upward parabola. And this one is a downward parabola. How do you know by looking at it that it's an upward parabola?
It's going up.
Well, what about the equation?
Oh,
The A is positive.
The A is positive. What about, how do you know by looking at the equation that it's a downward parabola?
A is negative.
A is negative. Okay, let's look at this one. What's the standard form? The standard form, very good. It's y is equal to a x to the second power plus b x plus what?
C.
C. Okay. So what's this first part right here? Yes.
Like power or something?
Well, it has the x term that's closer to it. Well, I'll give you again. Okay, let's look at this. A can tell us if it's positive, then what?
it's the Y.
Positive, it's upward, right?
Right.
Negative is what? Downward. And it's also your downward velocity. It's the speed coming down. After it's up, it's coming down. Okay, this is your downward velocity. So if it's a gravity problem, it's automatically going to be the negative 16 that we talked about. Okay? If it's something else, if it has some force that's going behind it, they'll tell you what that first number is going to be. But if it's a regular gravity problem, it's negative 16. Yes, ma'am.
If we have any word problems that are like about gravity, will it mention the, number? Or do we?
Yes and no. If it just says it's like free falling, then it's gonna be -16. And you'll visibly see -16 down there.
So we don't have to specifically remember -16 is the number for graph.
You might have to remember that.
Okay.
I really guys, real quick. I didn't give my cousin the house key.
Okay, yeah.
School.
It's on my desk, I think, all right, what is B?
Do you change?
It's going to be the initial velocity, which is your rate of change of the problem. What's your C going to be?
No intercepts?
Oh, this also, is gonna shift it from left to right. This is the shift part. It makes it shift left to right. This either makes it go up or down. The first one makes it shift from left to, either move it over from left to right. Okay, what about the C? What's this number right here?
One intercept.
The Y intercept. And how does it make it shift?
Upward or down.
Very good. It makes it either shift up or down. Any questions about that? Anybody lost? From yesterday, this one? Do as many as you can do, as many as you can do. Read the question and answer. All right, this one right here, guys, most of us got this one wrong. It's asking for the white tiles. Okay, so your first, this is X, this is Y. The first tile has how many white ones? Total of white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The second one has how many white tiles? It has 12. The third has how many white tiles? 16. And the fourth? 20. So what's the starting amount? How do I find the starting amount? My M and my B. Let's find M first. What is it going up by?
4.
4. And then what's the starting amount? The zero number?
8.
No. That's the first number is 8. What's the zero number?
4.
It's 4. You gotta work backwards. 4. So which one of these is gonna be the answer?
C.
C. Okay, here. What is the slope here in this problem? It's going up by what? 50. Where does it start? What's the y-intercept? Right here, which would be what? 100. Okay, so that's A. This one right here. How many candy bars are there? There are 50 candy bars, and how much is each box?
30.
30. How much profit they want to make? So that's 30 plus 10. What's that equal? They need to make $40 off 50 candy bars. So that's 40 divided by 50. What does that give you? 0.8. That's 80 cents.